Hello guys, how's it going? It's me Martin, and I'm here doing part 2 of the PS Plus ranking of 2020. Now, we have very few games to talk about before we get to part 3 with the top 10. So it's going to be a much shorter video. If you haven't watched the first one, please watch it so you can see all the games that I didn't like too much and all the games that just didn't make it all the way here. But with all of that out of the way, let's continue. And at number 15, we have Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. Now, of course, this is the third Uncharted game coming after Uncharted 2 and before Uncharted 4. And first off, let me just say that this game looks really good. Like, graphics-wise, it looks great. Talking about, like, combat-wise and how the controls feel, everything is super smooth and super nice. It's a huge upgrade over Uncharted 2 when we're talking about gameplay. And there's some fun puzzles here and there. I feel like the puzzles are very nicely placed throughout the adventure. And you got a lot of set pieces, a lot of interesting locations you visit. And the game is just overall a really fun game to play. And I really enjoyed it. A lot of highlights. But I do have quite a bit of problems with this game. First of all, I'm going to say this game just overall feels very disconnected. You have so many different locations that you're just plip-plopping through. Like, you're here now and there in London and France and all these different places. You're just traveling like nonstop and it's crazy. And this makes the story also feel like disconnected. And overall, the story doesn't do anything interesting. It almost feels like there ain't any story, and that's pretty disappointing for an Uncharted game, and why I remember it less than the other ones. Also, the villains are incredibly lame. The villains are so forgettable and like whatever, and you just forget about them so easily, and the ending feels very rushed. Like the final chapter just happens, and you're like, it just happens. Like it goes by so quickly. You're just shocked at how fast everything went by without you noticing. But still, overall, I do recommend playing this game because it's very fun, and I do like the characters. Other than the villains suck, but good characters, good gameplay, and I recommend playing it. And at number 14, we have the complete other side, Uncharted: Drake's Fortune. Now, Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 1 are like complete opposites, because in this game, the gameplay ain't that good, but I do really like the story. Now, yes, the graphics have aged, the combat is a little clunky, and even has some weird combo system in it, but I still do like the gameplay and combat. I still think it is fun, and has a nice change up near the end. But I do way prefer the story and characters in this game. Nathan Drake looking for the treasure that his father failed to find, and the relationships between like Nathan Drake and Elena and Sully and how they evolve throughout the story. All of that is handled very well, and it makes this game stand out more than Uncharted 3 in my eyes. Also, I do think the villains, while not that strong in this game, they are still better than Uncharted 3's villains, so I'll give the game that. Not that many set pieces or puzzles, but still, the story is good, and so I prefer this game just a little bit over Uncharted 3. And at number 13, we have Worms Rumble, which is a multiplayer kind of battle royale shooter. It's battle royale. It's a very fun game, especially when you play with friends, like running around the map with a really good traversal system, shooting enemies. You got a huge variety of really crazy fun guns to use. Like there's a lot of different guns that are very unique. Uh, Combat may be a little simple, but still, it's very easy to get into and very fun to master and get good at. You have three very unique and distinct maps. Maybe they even added more over updates to increase the map size and really just change up the game. And finally, you got some really great unlockables with some very good customization that you really slowly unlock as you play the game. That gives you a reason to keep playing more, to unlock more ways to customize your character. It is all handled very well. I really like this game, and I recommend at least giving it a shot. And at number 12, we have Middle-earth: Shadow of War, which is a third-person action-adventure game in the Lord of the Rings universe. Now, first thing I want to say, graphics look solid. Let's talk about the story. The story has its moments. There's moments where I do like it. There's moments where it's not really that interesting. It kind of flip-flops. Overall, I think it's slightly above average. Something that is good though, I do like a lot of the characters. I think characters in this game are very good. But what really makes this game stick out is its combat. You have you have a very fun combat system. You got a lot of different enemies. You got like a bow, and it's like the Batman Arkham combat. But like less smooth, but like still really fun and really challenging, and it's still handled very well. And you also got some very great traversal with some really fast running and jumping over buildings, quickly scaling buildings. It's all really cool. You. But overall, I say it's mostly fair. You also got some really great RPG elements in this game, and overall, I did like it. It drags a bit towards the end, it gets a little repetitive, but still, solid game, I do like it. And finally, at number 11, we have Star Wars Battlefront 2. First of all, forget the campaign. Characters are incredibly boring. The story is incredibly boring. The gameplay is alright, but the game just does nothing interesting in the gameplay. Or, I mean, in the campaign, not the gameplay. In the campaign, it does nothing interesting at all. And so I say don't even try it. But what you should try is the multiplayer. The multiplayer is really fun. First of all, you have different modes. Like you have this hero fight where you have heroes and villains fighting with like lightsabers and cool ass weapons. And they have their own abilities. And that game is very, very fun. Unless the Jedis are blocking, and it can be very annoying sometimes, but I do think it's fun a lot of the time. You have modes where it's just third-person shooter combat, like Conquest, Deathmatch, like all those, and all those are very fun to play, with the very solid third-person combat, and like a bunch of classes and characters and like abilities, and a lot of really cool things you can do in the game, plus vehicles and stuff. It's all a huge amount of fun. I played this game with a friend, and me and him just had a blast with the matches we played, and I do recommend trying this game out. It's very fun. And finally, honestly, thank you guys for watching. It's hard to get views these days. Please, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe and hit that like button, and comment down below any feedback or your opinions on these PS Plus games or my video in general. Thank you for watching so much. Goodbye.